San Diego State punching their ticket to the Final Four, where they will play Florida Atlantic, who punched their ticket last night, beating Kansas State. And you guys have opened that number already.
We did open it right away, guys. 2, San Diego State 2. They took the 2. We're down to 1.5, 132 on the total. Has not moved just yet. But, yeah, I don't know if anybody had this on their side of the bracket. Please give us a call. Chris Andrews, Jimmy Vaccaro, and I, and we'll probably get you a spot right immediately at the counter.
So how much – a lot of people wanted to immediately go to television ratings, whatever. How much does a Final Four like that, where it's going to involve San Diego State and FAU, hurt Is there still going to be some intrigue? I would assume there's a slight dip in it.
You know what, JVT? Yeah, we do. You know, you're always talking about. You always anticipate what the ratings will be for and how that is reflected in the handle as well. When it comes to the Super Bowl, I'll say, listen, it's still the Super Bowl, and depending on where it's at, and again, obviously next year it's not going to matter, right? Because it's going to be here. But I think where it is will also impact that. But in a case like this with the Final Four. It may be it may impact it some, but again, sports betting is so popular now, and it is mainstream. It's not becoming mainstream. We're in a new era with it, guys. Honestly, when you think back to pre-PASPA, did you really need those marquee names and the public teams? Probably not so much anymore, because again, you can create so much betting interest in it with prop bets, with the in-game and everything like that. So I don't think it'll be that much of a detriment if there's no real, blue bloods in it. So I mean, the tournament has not had, there were some blue bloods left out of it this year, or got bounced early, right? So it has not impacted the handle negatively at all.
I almost wonder from the book side of things, because we have these, I guess, dark horse teams, these mid-major teams that have reached this point. I mean, I think at BetMGM, the teams that were the top 13 that have been bet on to win the title have all been eliminated. From a future standpoint, it's got to be pretty good for you guys to have FAU, San Diego State. One of them is going to be playing Monday night. Yeah,
that's a good point, Femi. I think when you look at, we did have a little exposure on Creighton. And again, we had some exposure on Miami coming into the tournament. Again, Miami and Kansas State. At 200-1 a year ago, but that was bet early. We got ahead of we had 10 months. I mean, I'm sorry, a year to get off it. And you can adjust with the regions, and then of course the big future when you put the entire field in. So believe it or not, we're in an okay position even with some of these long shot teams. FAU was in the field for us. So, we don't put up every single team. Now, depending on where you're at, I know a good buddy of mine's got FAU at 300-1. So he's sitting pretty right now with that ticket. But we had them in the field. I think we had them, going into the tournament. That was the other one. We had Princeton at 2,000-1. I want to say FAU was triple digits too. I'll look it up here.
Because it feels like almost like those 8 and 9 seeds are always pretty high up there, because everyone expects, they'll have to play the 1 seed and then they'll get bounced in that second round game.
We had a lot of respect for Florida Atlantic. We had them at 100-1 going into the tournament, which may seem low, but obviously now it doesn't look to be the case, right? You wouldn't get rid of that ticket if you had it in your pocket. No. So.
Visit VSiN.com to get current odds, listen for free, find showtimes, and download VSiN sports betting podcasts.